actor, you know?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're creating a whole financial world of their own.
Yeah.
And their Q3 results just came out.
Right.
And there's a lot to unpack there,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to like their business model, you know,
Yes.
the headwinds they might be facing and like what's next for them.
Yeah, they're in a really interesting position because they just had their strongest quarter ever.
Oh, wow.
SoFi earned a record $689 million in adjusted net revenue this quarter.
Wow, that's huge.
That's a 30% increase year over year.
30%.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and it puts them on track to exceed their plan for the year.
That's great.
What I find really interesting is that their financial services segment is really taking off.
Oh, interesting.
It's on track to be a billion-dollar annualized revenue business, growing at a rate of 102% year over year.
Wow, that's really fast growth.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It sounds like they're really going all in on this, like diversifying, you know.
Well, that diversification is key, especially in a market like this with so much uncertainty.
Hmm.
SoFi's non-lending segments, which include their technology platform, now make up 49% of total revenue. That's up a massive 64% year over year.
So wait, almost half of their revenue isn't even from lending anymore?
That's right.
That's a pretty big shift.
It is. And it shows how they're evolving beyond their initial focus on just lending.
That's really smart.
Yeah, it gives them a bit more stability, too.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of growth, SoFi added an incredible 756,000 new members this quarter,
Wow.
bringing their total to over 9 million.
Okay.
That translates to about $81 in revenue per product, which is a 52% increase from last year.
Wow. Okay. Now, what about their loan platform business? I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that.
Yeah, that's been a really successful venture for them. This quarter alone, they generated $56 million in fees, which is a five-fold increase from last year.
5 times. That's incredible. How does that even work?
It's actually a pretty interesting model. They connect borrowers and investors directly
Okay.
and generate revenue through referral fees, origination fees, and servicing.
So they're not actually lending the money themselves in a lot of cases.
Not always. Sometimes they do, but this model allows them to be involved in more loans without taking on all the risk.
Got it. So it's kind of like a marketplace for loans.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Very clever. But speaking of risk, everyone's talking about credit risk these days.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, with the economy being a bit shaky, it's definitely a top concern for investors.
Absolutely. So SoFi's personal loan delinquency rates peaked back in March, but have been steadily declining since then.
Okay, that's good news.
And their newer loan vintages are actually performing better.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it means their underwriting process is getting more accurate.
So are investors feeling pretty confident about SoFi right now?
It seems so. Their GAAP net income was nearly $61 million for the quarter, which is a really positive sign.
All right, well, let's move on to the analyst Q&A from the earnings call.
Sounds good.
It seemed like analysts had a ton of questions about the loan platform business.
Oh, definitely.
One of them asked, like, how does it even work?
Right.
And how is it different from what everyone else is doing?
Yeah, SoFi explained that there are 4 main ways they make money through this platform.
Okay.
The first is by earning referral fees for connecting borrowers with partner lenders.
Okay.
They also generate origination fees by originating loans for both their partners and third-party investors.
Got it.
And then they earn revenue from servicing those loans for those partners and investors.
Okay.
And they also originate some loans for their own balance sheet.
Oh, interesting. So they're doing a bit of everything.
Yeah, they're really diversifying their approach with this platform.
So another analyst asked about how SoFi plans to balance originating loans for its own balance sheet versus these partnerships.
Right. So SoFi expects to see modest growth in the loans they hold on their balance sheet, focusing mainly on personal, student, and home loans.
So are they being more cautious about taking on risk right now?
I think they're just being strategic. They want to focus on the areas where they have the most expertise and can generate the highest returns.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really trying to find that sweet spot between growth and, like, managing risk.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, high returns, they usually mean there's more risk involved.
Right.
So analysts, they were really digging into how SoFi is, like, dealing with that, especially when it comes to, like, their newer loans.
Yeah, one analyst asked specifically about how credit performance is affecting SoFi's return on equity.
Okay.
You know, they pointed out that growth is great, but sustainability is really what matters.
So how did SoFi answer that? What did they say?
Well, they said their recent loan vintages, they're actually projected to generate returns on equity of over 30%.
Wow, 30%. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's more than double what they saw with their 2017 vintage.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like they've really made some improvements when it comes to underwriting and managing risk.
That's a really big jump. I mean, what's driving those kinds of improvements?
So SoFi said there are a few key factors.
Okay.
First, they've seen lower loss rates in those more recent vintages,
Mm-hmm.
which basically suggests they're getting better at assessing credit risk.
Makes sense.
And they've also implemented higher pricing on those newer loans,
Oh, interesting.
which reflects, the current interest rate environment, right?
Shout.
And that also might be attracting higher quality borrowers as well.
Makes sense.
Then they've also gotten more efficient when it comes to funding, so their cost of capital is lower.
Oh, that's great.
And of course, they're also benefiting from those origination fees from the loan platform business, which we talked about.
Right.
So that all adds up to higher profitability.
It sounds like they've got a lot of things working in their favor.
Yeah.
But, with that loan platform business,
Yeah.
analysts, they're really curious about how scalable it is.
Mm.
Can it really be like a major driver for SoFi's growth?
Yeah, one analyst actually asked directly about the potential scale of that business
Okay.
and if SoFi can really meet the growing demand from investors who are looking for these alternative credit products.
And what did they say to that? What was SoFi's response?
Well, they said they've actually got agreements in place that'll help them grow the loan platform business.
Okay.
They think they're in a unique position to take advantage of this trend.
Okay.
They've got a good brand, they've got the technology, they've got the data analytics.
Right.
So they think that that's going to help them attract both borrowers and investors.
So it's almost like there's this bridge between like the tech world and the finance world.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about lending anymore.
It's about creating a whole platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of technology, analysts also had some questions about SoFi's tech platform segment.
Right.
Like, what are those big partnership deals?
Yep.
Have they closed any of those yet?
Yeah, they actually asked about that, about those delays.
And what did they say?
So they admitted that they haven't actually secured any of those big deals yet,
Okay.
but they're still optimistic about it.
Okay.
They said they're talking to three main types of clients. You got these large financial institutions who want to, modernize what they're doing.
Yeah.
You've got branded companies that already have financial products and they want to, make them better.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got like government and B2B clients.
Wow. So they're going after a lot of different types of companies.
Yeah, they're trying to cast a wide net.
Yeah. But, those big deals, they can be really tough to close, especially with those big institutions.
Yeah, you've got to build trust and you've got to really show them the value.
It takes time.
Exactly.
Well, another big thing that analysts were asking about was deposit growth.
Yeah, especially with interest rates going down.
Yep.
One analyst asked about how SoFi is attracting and keeping depositors.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so SoFi said that they've actually been really good at maintaining their market share
Okay.
and offering depositors competitive rates.
Even though rates are falling.
Yeah, even with those adjustments.
That's impressive.
And they said that's because of their strong brand, their digital focus, and their focus on customer service.
So they're really trying to give people a good experience.
Yeah, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, because they're seeing growth in both deposits and spending.
Exactly.
So people are using their products.
Yeah, which is a good sign.
Well, that brings us to their financial services segment,
Right.
which includes their investing products, cash management, credit cards, all that.
Yeah.
And analysts, they were really interested in how SoFi plans to make money from this segment.
Right, so they were asking about the monetization potential.
Yeah, exactly. How do they turn that engagement into revenue?
Well, SoFi sees a lot of opportunity to increase the revenue they get per product,
Okay.
especially in a few areas.
Okay. Like what?
So within Invest, they want to expand their offerings, like with alternative assets and mutual funds.
Oh, interesting.
With money, they want to drive more deposits and more spending.
Right.
And then with their credit card, they're looking to grow balances and increase interchange revenue.
So they're really looking at every angle.
Yeah, they're trying to make the most of their customer base.
That's smart. One analyst brought up an interesting point about, the demand for alternative credit in this economy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that something that SoFi is seeing as well?
Yeah, they actually said that they're seeing similar trends to other lenders.
Okay.
There's more demand for alternative credit, both from existing partners and new ones.
So that's good news for their loan platform business.
Yeah, exactly. They can connect that demand with the investors who are looking for higher yields.
So they're kind of like the middleman.
Yeah, exactly. They're facilitating those connections.
Well, one last question that came up was about their new credit card.
Oh, yeah.
How's doing? How's it performing?
Yeah, they asked about those early results.
So what did SoFi say?
SoFi said they're happy with the results from the pilot program,
Okay.
and they've actually made the card available to everyone now.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah. But they're being cautious.
Oh.
They're focusing on getting the right customers
Yeah.
and making sure it's profitable.
So it's a slow and steady approach.
Yeah, they don't want to grow too quickly and jeopardize things.
Makes sense. It sounds like they're really focused on the long game here.
Yeah, they're not just chasing short-term gains.
They're trying to build something sustainable
Exactly.
that can weather any storm.
Yeah, and, that's a good strategy in this environment.
Well, it's clear that SoFi is doing a lot of things right.
Yeah.
They're growing, they're diversifying, they're innovating.
And they're managing risk.
Yeah, their CEO, Anthony Noto, he actually said that this is the best environment they've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah, but, it shows how confident they are in their strategy.
So what does all this mean for SoFi going forward? In 2025 and beyond, can they really become a major player in financial services?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a great vision, they've got a solid business model,
Mm-hmm.
and their customer base is growing.
But there's a lot of competition out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're going up against traditional banks, and they've got other fintech companies to worry about.
And let's not forget about regulations. Those are always changing.
Oh, absolutely. That can be a big challenge for a company like SoFi.
Yeah, they're going to have to stay flexible and adapt to whatever comes their way.
Yeah, it's a fast-moving industry. They can't afford to stand still.
It's going to be exciting to see what they do next.
Oh, definitely. For anyone who's interested in the future of finance, SoFi is definitely a company to watch.
Absolutely. I mean, they're really shaking things up.
Yeah.
They're challenging the status quo.
Yeah, and they're showing that innovation can come from anywhere.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into SoFi's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this gave you some good insights into how they're doing, their business model, the challenges they face, and what the future might hold.
Yeah. We covered a lot of ground.
We did.
Yeah.
But remember, this is just a snapshot in time.
Right.
We always encourage you to do your own research
Exactly.
and, stay up to date on the companies and the trends that are shaping the financial world.
It's an exciting time to be following this industry.
It is. Until next time, happy investing, and may your portfolio be as dynamic and as innovative as SoFi itself.
That's a great way to put it.
It's kind of amazing how much they've done in such a short time.
Yeah.
They've really shaken things up in finance.
Yeah, they've definitely made their mark.
It'll be interesting to see what they do next,
Yeah, how they adapt as things change.
because fintech is changing so fast.
Yeah.
But their success so far, it really shows that they have a vision and they know how to execute it.
Absolutely.
And they've attracted some really talented people.
Yeah, but they're going to need to stay focused,
Yeah.
Keep innovating and keeping their customers happy.
To stay ahead of the competition.
Yeah, because it's a tough market out there.
So it's going to be an exciting journey for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For anyone who's interested in the future of finance, I mean, SoFi is definitely a company to watch.
Absolutely. They're pushing the boundaries,
Yeah.
challenging the way things have always been done.
It's a good reminder that, disruption can come from anywhere.
Exactly.
And that sometimes the best innovation happens outside of the traditional players.
I agree.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into SoFi's Q3 2024 earnings call.
Yeah.
I hope you found it interesting
Me too.
and that it gave you some things to think about.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground today.
We did, but like we always say, this is just a starting point,
Right.
Do your own research.
Yeah, stay informed.
Keep learning about the companies and the trends that are changing the financial world.
It's an exciting time to be involved in finance.
It is, and until next time, happy investing, everyone.